2 days ago, I was here in Riga. I was thinking, what the hell I'm going to talk about? I mean, there was 20 minutes is not much, so I cannot go very deep. And it's very early in the morning, so I have to wake you up. It should be something spicy, something about some drama. I mean, I could do, I don't know, drive chains are retarded, but I just did ordinance in Prague, so that would be repetitive. So what could I do? And I started to read what I always, I mean, what do you read when you need guidance and inspiration? You need some kind of enlightenment. You read, not, what do you read? Not the Bible, no. Bitcoin Twitter, of course. Bitcoin Twitter. Not Nostr, because on Nostr there's not much drama, everybody's nice. So we have to go to Bitcoin Twitter, where a crypto influencer was getting ratioed, and so our favorite space cat was telling him, okay, you got ratioed, and the crypto influencer said, yes, 80 IQ plebs liking a tweet certainly is a directional indicator of quality. And so something beautiful, Twitter did his thing. And so Dan Webb said, gonna start seeing 80 IQ in people's Twitter handles, and people started to actually do it. And I cannot put all of them here, but then even like shirts started to appear, so you can really buy this. This is just recently happening. And companies like, this is Relay, I'm an 80 IQ app, and we did it. We make it trending in business and finance for a while. I mean, good job, good job. So one of the guy changing his name with 80 IQ was our favorite space cat. In this tweet, he was criticizing the current drive chains political campaign. He was saying it's a massive red flag. Fortunately, thanks to 80 IQ plebs, it will end in nothing more than tears and rage quits. It's also interesting to see that he changed the name to 80 IQ 13%er. 13%er is another meme. It comes from this alleged survey in which only 30% of Bitcoin owners don't own shitcoins as well. So people that are not into shitcoin, they proud themselves as 30%ers. And somebody noticed that if you really try to to integrate the curve of the distribution of IQ, basically you have about 30% of people with the 80 IQ inside the 80 IQ part of the curve. So it's fine, right? It really it works. So people started to think about this IQ distribution, this Gaussian curve, this bell curve, and then something else happened. The people behind Drive Chain, they just hired a new meme employee. He's not very good. And so they tried to meme, and they tried to answer to Odlnaut with this. So in this attempt, basically the plebs, like the low IQ plebs, which it's the people they are trying to answer to, they are basically pro Drive Chain. The midwits, the guys that are not smart enough to get it, but not simple enough to be humble, the midwits, we will talk about midwits a lot. I will explain this meme a little bit. The midwits are actually very enraged against drive chains, and then the really smart people are again pro drive chain, which is clearly, I mean, it was very bad. But what happened, which was very funny, was that somebody immediately came up. Everybody was commenting. I mean, this meme is bad. Your meme game is weak. The meme didn't land, and then somebody created this. So this is a meta meme. So 80 IQ plebs is like, no, the meme doesn't land. And very smart people, no, this meme doesn't land. And only layer 2 labs account, they really think that the meme actually did land. And so for me, when I saw this, was decided, okay, the talk is about the problem of Bitcoin midwits. And I will go a little bit to explain what midwits are, what is this meme about, and how it does apply to Bitcoin to some degree. Let's go to the beginning of this meme. You all know that memes like these started back in 1670, when Blaise Pascal published his philosophical thoughts. So basically, what Pascal is saying in this book and elsewhere is that there are basically three. In this case, it's talking about social hierarchy. So he says the peasants, the plebs, so the simple people, simpletons, like the small people, they recognize social hierarchy, like they think that noble people are very brave and all the priests are very wise, because they have stupid reasons to think about that. They only follow tradition, superstition, they don't really know what they are saying. But they get it, they get social hierarchy. Then there are some people that Pascal calls the demi-habile, I think it's, pardon my French, as they say. And the demi-habile, so basically midwits, they are too smart to just follow tradition, to just use social heuristics, to just repeat what seems reasonable enough. They cannot use simple heuristics. They are too smart for that, but they are not smart enough to really understand the complex evolutionary phenomena that created some, not all, social hierarchies. And so they just go like, okay, there is no hierarchy, everybody is equal to everybody else, there is no difference in strength, no difference in culture, no difference in property. So they just become commies. And so Pascal was already thinking about this, and if a little bit later, so basically in 2017, another guy went to 4chan, and he basically landed this meme. In this case, is centered on American politics. I'm not even sure I agree very much. I don't like Republicans very much, but I think that I could basically pass it as on many things, libertarian Republicans like Ron Paul, that I would consider on that part of the spectrum, agree on some things with very stupid libertarians, like very stupid conservatives, like, I don't know, DeSantis on this part of the spectrum. So I think there may be something there, even if I'm not that into American politics. Then a few years later, in 2020, another guy basically started. This is another version of the meme with the monkey and a Unabomber, and then he started the Midwit memes contest, and so this exploded, and it was used everywhere basically. And this is the most common version. So you see the simpleton there. The midwit, which is enraged because he's too smart to follow the stream, but not smart enough to really get it. And then there is the hoodie, the shadowy supercoder, then in the with some kind of Asian features. So this, some caveats. First caveat is I don't really believe in IQ theory, IQ deterministic social theory. I think it's mostly bullshit and anti-scientific. The way I love, the reason I love this meme is because I reinterpreted it in another way, which is where the horizontal axis is not about IQ, but is more about how seriously you take yourself. How much did you study a subject, how much time and effort you put into a subject, into a topic, and how seriously do you take yourself and the topic. And I think that the meme really works this way, because if you don't take yourself and the topic too seriously, maybe you can use some simple heuristics to actually get it, because the word does make sense. And if you take yourself or the topic too seriously, but not enough, you tend to be very, very wrong in a very, very important way. And only if you really get seriously serious, then you can actually get it. And most of the, not always, but most of the time you will agree. So it's not really an IQ distribution for me. It's mostly like a seriousness distribution. Either you are just shit posting, or you really have to do your homework, basically. If you stay in between, it's not going to end very well. The second caveat is that I love this meme, but I don't love any applications of this meme. Actually, many instances of this meme are like very, very stupid. Like most of them are like, many of them are racist. But I don't mean racist like in American sense, like, oh, how are you? Yeah, that's racist. No, I mean like really racist. I mean, what a sane non-American person would call racist. And other, this is racist, but others are very intelligent, are very smart. So basically, it's like So very stupid people and very intelligent people like this meme. So basically, yeah, the only people that the stupid people and smart people like this meme. Midwits don't. Because they only reason in galaxy brain terms, so it's always going up. There is no curve. There is no trade-off basically. So it's a meme. How do you apply it to Bitcoin basically? First of all, let's try to imagine who in Bitcoin terms would be the simpleton, the guy that really is just parroting party slogans without any kind of reasoning in behind. And so this is an example of the guy. This guy was a speaker here at Baltic Honeybadger a few years ago. And look at how simple and clearly wrong his statement were. Like this guy was saying, everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam. There's no nuances in this sentence. It's just a slogan. Every attempt at changing Bitcoin is a scam. So wrong. And then every attempt at pushing people to spend Bitcoin is a scam. Circular economy, we want that. And we should not be nice to scammers, which, we should be nice with everybody. So it's so wrong, right? But let's try to how would a midwit react to that? So the midwit, let's zoom in a little bit. The midwit said, so for example, let's say the first sentence. Everything, so the 80 IQ guy is saying, everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam. And the midwit is, no, actually that's not right, because there are useful and beautiful things that are not Bitcoin, are not scams, like chairs and cars and antibiotics and underpants and flowers and butterflies and the starry night sky. Some of those things are maybe even ICT protocols, the internet, Tor, Git. There exist instances of altcoin not launched as intentional money grabs like Namecoin. So you cannot say that everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam. No, you are a toxic, poisonous, Puritan, anti-free market gatekeeper. So, okay. But now I have to zoom. I am an IT IQ guy, so I can just imagine. I just can try to emulate what the real smart guy will answer to that, which is this. Absolutely, multi-quantum scarcity achieved by consensus in sufficiently decentralized network was a discovery rather than invention. It cannot be achieved again by network participant aware of this discovery, since the very thing discovery was resistance to replicability itself. Initial network effect of brand awareness, financial liquidity, code review, hashing power constitute a Schelling point that helps the market to price the absolutely scarce original differently from the infinitely abundant clones. With power low distribution, free markets tend to converge and not diverge for low-level infrastructure like TCP and money. This creates misaligned incentives in clone creators who, unable to rely on Bitcoin-like balanced design and organic adoption, have to resort to fraudulent claims and unrealistic exploration of radically different trade-offs and centralized-based shortcuts. Such broken incentives adapt to historically evident temptation connected to money printing, further reducing the probability of the honest and rational cloning attempts over time. Even if that, okay, I will skip a little bit. But basically, the end is, since all these subtleties are hard to convey to newcomers, especially within an eternal September situation, and more compact general slogans fulfill an evolutionary role in every realistic epistemology and are going to spread anyway, and since there is a strong asymmetry between the natural money printing incentives and culturally mediated long-term wisdom, it's preferable to corroborate nuanced analysis of this topic with easy-to-remember prima facie heuristics that approximate the default best practices, like, for example, everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam. So I can do it again, but I'm a little bit tired. So I will publish I really did write this text. So you can, this was partly a quote of Knut, and now there will be partly a quote of Gregory Maxwell. So I really did spend time writing that, but I will not write everything. But like every attempt at changing Bitcoin is a scam, let's just read the midwit. No, actually the current Lightning Network cannot scale to 8 billion people. We changed base layer consensus with Taproot, and you were okay with that. Satoshi himself changed the consensus with hard forks, and you will have to change consensus relevant code anyway by 2106 due to the blockade overflow. Ha, gotcha. So you cannot say, no. So this is my attempt at, also, of course, and please use my FTX referral link below. You know the guys, right? They always end up like this. So the answer in this case is also very long. I will not read it all. It's partially quoting Gregory Maxwell and other people. You can read it online. But the end is basically the same. It's since blah, 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 it's preferable to corroborate nuanced analysis of the topic with easy-to-remember prima facie heuristics that approximate the full best practices, like, for example, every attempt at changing Bitcoin is a scam. That's not true in general, but it's, I mean, there are reasons to, that I explained here if you care to read it. So these two examples, like everything which is not Bitcoin is a scam, this is a standard Bitcoin maximalism, do not change Bitcoin, this is like ossification party, standard maximalism as well, almost. But there are some very good 80 IQ takes that are not typically maximalist or not necessarily. Some laser eye maxi may even, I mean, when you find somebody who's using the term laser eye maxi unironically, you know it's a midwit, like 100%. That's a super perfect heuristic if you use it unironically. Some of them may disagree. For example, 2 days ago at the Noob Days, there was Tony from Ododl, and he was doing a great presentation about acquiring Bitcoin, and there was this slide with 2 sentences. The first was, not your keys, not your coins. And the second was, KYC bad, P2P good. And even if some maximalists even may disagree with this, I think they are very good takes, very simple. There may be a lot of nuances about that. For example, about not your case, not your coin. The midwit could say, current scalability limitation prevent assigning one UTXO to every single payment. Lightning doesn't fix this because there are still too many people on this planet to assign everybody just a channel. So people are using custodial solution for tips anyway. At this point, we should just dismantle Lightning entirely rely on trust and third parties. Alfine was okay with that, and so on and so on. So also, speaking of which, please use my FTX referral link below. Again, I will not read all the answer, but I think it's, I think there is a reasonable long answer that will explain why, at the end, a very pretty good enough prima facie heuristic is not your keys, not your coin. If you teach that to noobs, they will be safe enough for a while, and there will be exception. They will not really follow you, but that's the goal, that's the objective. That's basically the simple slogan where you can convey a lot of very, very important stuff. Same goes for the second, like KYC bad, peer-to-peer good. But no, because privacy-obsessed nerds worry too much. The political confiscation they fear is not going to happen. We're going mainstream and Bitcoin will be protected by my government. It's just game theory. A senator said he lost Bitcoin in TV. Also, the main point of Bitcoin is transparency. Nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Criminals will not rob me. Cops will protect me and help me recovering my sats legally. Avoiding KYC and creating privacy is too hard. We will never reach mass adoption with that. And there is risk in coin join. What if I mix with Iranians and then I lose my permission to spend my money? So also, maybe you can buy it using my FTX referral link after completing KYC ML process, of course. So again, I disagree. Well, smart people disagree. I disagree from the 80% IQ point of view. I just repeat the slogan. And this is another example. I think that we can find a final, like a general pattern here. The general pattern is that as 80 IQ people, we use simple heuristics, but in a complex world, usually simple heuristics, if they evolved in an adversarial environment with enough time, they tend to work. I mean, people can use simple heuristics to make sense of, like, don't answer to the email from a Nigerian prince. I mean, in Nigeria, there may be some kind of royal family, and some of them may be nice people, and maybe they really want to. There could be exceptions, right? But in general, do not answer emails from Nigerian princes. And so people here, they like to, like us, we like to follow very simple heuristic. We are simple people. We don't like to go too deep. We don't take ourselves too much seriously. We also, sometimes we like to exaggerate, like to be ironically stupid. We like to not, we also like to cultivate misinterpretation of what we say. Like, people will try to misinterpret what we say. We will laugh about that and even incentivize that. Like, case in point, my shirt today. It's fun. It's fun. We like that because we do not take ourselves too seriously. But then there are the people that really do their homeworks, and they realize that there is a lot of stuff to say, but not enough time, especially during an Eternal September. So they have to simplify the message somehow, because the complex messages with a lot of nuances is not easy to convey, and it will just get people wrecked, basically, if you do, because people will just understand one part of it and not all of it. So you should go with the do no harm, simple heuristics. In between, you have two phenomena, the Dunning-Kruger effect, so people that started to understand something more than the simpletons, but not enough, they will greatly overestimate their comprehension of the phenomenon. And also, the midwit position creates a lot of engagement, because if you really go deep, you become boring, because you take yourself very seriously, you have a lot of nuances, a lot of take and counter-take. If you are simple, you are funny, but you are simple, so nobody can say how smart it is. While if you stay in between, you can appear smart to people, but actually you don't get boring, because you're not really becoming serious. You're just half serious. You're just a midwit. So this is basically the general trend. I think that, so why do I think it's a problem? Well, I think it's a problem because midwits will usually get people wrecked. Almost always, this half-assed analysis will be worst, will end up in buy my shitcoins, use my FTX referral link, don't do self-custody, just put everything on Celsius. This is usually how it goes. And there may be exceptions, but that's usually how it goes. So midwits are a problem. Midwits are dangerous. Maybe not to Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is resistant enough. But midwits are dangerous to Bitcoiners, especially newest Bitcoiners. So we should fight the phenomenon. How do you fight it? Can you eliminate midwits as a process? I don't think you can. But what we can do is flatten the curve. So basically, we could, thank you. We could try to, this is like another very midwit sentence to say. I mean, everybody will say that unironically is also probably. But anyway, you can tell people, please, if you don't want to take yourself too seriously, stay there, come on Bitcoin Twitter and shitpost with us. I mean, it's fun. There's a lot of fun to have in shitcoin or Nostr eventually when it becomes toxic enough. On the other side, if you really want to understand stuff, don't stop and easy hot takes. Try to really understand also what your communication is going to create in a context of an eternal September. So try to really go deep and try to think about what the fuck you're doing, and maybe don't stay there too much. So for me, the interesting thing is this is not necessarily just a distribution. It's not that there is people like this, like me, and there's people like that, and then there are the midwits. This is also a path. When we start, we don't take stuff seriously. So we always start here. And we are having fun, we don't know much. Then we have we have to pass through the midwit valley, but the idea would be stay here as much as you're comfortable, because you are creating less damage, and when you go, try to go fast. So even as I mean, let's not just fight midwits, let's fight the midwit within. So that's it. Oh, so Max, I'm going with the time, because I will have last one. Well, I will do it. So let's do it. So just hodl, right? That's a very simple position. No, money has to be spent, hoarding is wrong, don't fall for this Austrian right-wing conspiracy theory. All serious economists with a degree know that the economy must be kept alive with money circulation. Saving is not using. Not only you should spend more than you save, but you should also spend more than you earn. Borrow money, use leverage. You should learn and understand technical analysis to be able to sell right at the top in the bull market and to buy back cheaper. Also, with your hodl obsession, you are going to miss out all of the sweet yield from DeFi farming. All season is coming, and you should ride it in order to stack more sats in the end. And maybe you can do that using my FTX referral link below. So I will finish with the last 120 IQ take. This one I will read it all because I think it's worth it. It's from a very high IQ guy, which is I am hodling. I type that title twice because I knew I was wrong the first time. Still wrong, whatever. Girlfriend's out at the lesbian bar, Bitcoin is crashing. Why am I holding? I'll tell you why. It's because I'm a bad trader and I know I'm a bad trader. Yeah, you good traders can spot the heights and the low, pit, pat, piffy, wing, wong, wang, just like that, and make $1 million bucks. Sure, no problem, bro. Likewise, the weekends are like, oh no, it's going down, I'm gonna sell. And then they're like, oh God, my asshole. When the smart traders know what the fuck they're doing and buy back in. But you know what? I'm not part of the group. When the traders buy back, I am already part of the market capital. So guess who you're cheating, day traders? Not me. Those town threads saying, oh, you should have sold. Yeah, no shit. No shit I should have sold. I should have sold moments before every sell and both moments before every buy. But you know what? Not everybody's as cool as you. You only sell in the bear market if you are a good day trader or an illusioned noob. In a zero-sum game such as this, traders can only take your money if you sell. So I had some whiskey. Actually, on the bottle it's spelled whiskey. Whatever, sue me, but only if it's payable in Bitcoin.